You're listening to The Download, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Monday, February 2nd. First up, we are having some technical difficulties at the Sounds Profitable Ranch and Barbecue. So, what you need to know is the link in the show notes as of this going up will go to a public document with all of the links and the write-up that the download normally has. It just won't go to the soundsprofitable.com post for today's episode. Now, once the technical difficulties are taken care of, I will go back and edit that link so it goes straight to the page that it should go to, and this bit of audio will just be a fun memory of a wacky bit of tech issues today. Now, with that said, let's get into the actual news for today. First up, audio is the only medium we can consume in parallel. Nick Cicero starts off strong with a simple notion. Audio podcasts exploded into popularity thanks to them filling time that already existed, not demanding net new time to enjoy. Audio can scale on time substitution, chores, commutes, exercise, while video podcasts are scaling on time competition, having to compete for watch time with video games, movies, live sports, social scrolling, video essays, anything that's visually engaging. Audio courts parallel consumption, video promotes serial consumption, and traditional television promotes programmed serial consumption. The trick is video podcasting works best in spikes. As such, Netflix doesn't seem to necessarily be buying into podcasts. They're buying into weekly attention engines that function like second-screen background television without the cost of buying into actual TV production. A play that might help with the platform's ebbing presence in the Luminate 2025 year-end film and TV report linked in today's write-up, in combination with their increased focus on licensing out YouTuber content from creators like Miss Rachel and Mark Rober. Next up, the longest, shortest times. Eric Newsom interviews and writes a profile of the story of Hillary Frank, host and creator of the podcast The Longest, Shortest Time. A unique story in that Frank is a successful podcaster from early on in the industry, having launched her show in 2010. After a successful Kickstarter campaign, partnership with WNYC, and eventually signing on to Stitcher, she had a consistently sold-out ad inventory throughout retiring the show in 2019. Now she's back and finding things are much different 7 years later. The Longest, Shortest Time still is able to sell out ad inventory immediately and find sponsorships easily, but at much lower rates than she was getting a decade ago. Frank also finds that her successful feed that's been on ice since 2019 is less successful because the download as a metric has become more accurate than it was in the 2010s. Back in the Stitcher days, she had a support staff and a producer to help out. Now Frank finds herself downgraded back to DIY hobbyist. With the industry having shifted out of the dumb money era, the middle class of podcasting shows that, by most metrics, should be successful, finds itself in a tricky position where even a middle-class show can't sustain the minimum production capabilities with income and audience size that a big show had a decade ago. Next up, Google has issued a cease and desist against the firms measuring YouTube-like TV. UK-based measurement nonprofit Barb recently announced a new form of ratings designed to track YouTube content. Instead of tracking just raw viewer numbers that are difficult to reconcile with TV watch traffic, Barb partnered with Kantar Media to measure YouTube watch time similarly to how Nielsen measures TV, a system that Google has filed a cease and desist order on, claiming the method breaches YouTube's terms of service for their API. A claim stemming from Kantar's method of using, quote, audio matching, automatic content recognition, end quote, to figure out which YouTube channel a panel member was watching on their TV screens during monitoring periods. And for our final top story, Voxtopica launches the Timbre Awards, Timbre, to honor podcasts that inform, educate, and strengthen democracy. Nonprofit and public affairs podcasting producer Voxtopica has announced, in addition to me successfully reading that sentence, they are launching a new awards ceremony to honor podcasts focused on bringing clarity to topics like public policy, public administration, or association management. Submissions open today, February 2nd, at a discounted rate until March 6th when the price goes up. The final deadline for submissions is April 3rd, and winners will be announced on June 1st. The Timbre Awards also have several layers of sponsorship opportunity available for companies looking to support. As for the rest of the news, the Japan Podcast Festival 2026 is slated to take place over March 14th and 15th in the Akasaka area of Tokyo, aiming to temporarily make the neighborhood a, quote, podcasting theme park, end quote. Semaphore has coverage of Kaleidoscope, hiring several big hitters for its creative side, acquiring podcast marketing agency The Listening Party, and their formalization of a long-term partnership with creative studio Second Lane. Sports and entertainment company Believe has hired on Jonathan Dayanara as VP of Sales and Revenue Operations. The BBC's Caddy K interviews longtime podcaster PJ Vogt about the growth of video and what the word podcast even means at this point. iHeartMedia has been announced as the official podcast partner for the 2026 Web Summit in Qatar. And to end out on a fun note, AudioChuck has announced a $1 million unrestricted grant they have awarded to IYG, a group dedicated to providing life-saving services and programs to LGBTQ plus youth in Indiana. And speaking as a formerly young queer Hoosier, it's an invaluable service to have. Remember, in your show notes is one link that will take you to all of the stories I just talked about with clickable links to go read them in full yourselves, should you desire. The download is written and produced by myself, Brian Barletta, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis, and I'll see you tomorrow.